So, it's that time of year again, right? The calendar flips over, and we all start thinking about our goals, our habits, and, well, our time. How are we going to make the most of this year?
Well, I've got a book for you that's going to completely flip that question on its head. This is our deep dive into Oliver Burkeman's absolutely fantastic book, 4,000 Weeks, Time and How to Use It.
Burkeman kicks things off with a question that sounds, well, pretty simple at first. But when you really stop and think about it, it's kind of unsettling. Have you ever truly considered just how long is a human life?
Okay, get ready for this. If you're lucky enough to live to be about 80 years old, the answer is just 4,000 weeks. That's it. When I first read that number, it was a real gut punch. It's absurdly, terrifyingly, and almost insultingly short. And that one simple fact, it changes everything.
But wait, here's a twist. This isn't meant to be depressing. Not at all. In fact, Burkeman argues that truly, deeply accepting this brutal fact is the very first step toward living a genuinely meaningful life. So let's start there, with your 4,000 weeks. See, this is the book's big idea. The problem isn't that our time is limited. That's just a fact of life. The real problem is the modern pressure we're all under. This set of ideas about productivity that, paradoxically, are guaranteed to make us feel more stressed, more anxious, and more overwhelmed. So, how in the world did we get here? How did we get so obsessed with being busy? This brings us to what Burkeman calls the modern efficiency trap.
To really get this, we have to look at how we even think about time. Before the whole Industrial Revolution thing, people lived in what you could call deep time. It wasn't about minutes and hours, it was fluid, connected to the seasons and the sun. But then, the clock took over, and suddenly time became a resource, a commodity, something to be managed, optimized, and crammed full, just like a warehouse.
And this is where a big piece of the puzzle falls into place. You've probably heard of Parkinson's law, right? Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. It's not just some clever little saying, it's a fundamental law of our modern lives. The more efficient we get, the more things we find to do.
And look, this isn't some high-level abstract theory. This is our everyday life. Think about it. The faster you answer your emails, the faster people reply, and boof, more emails. Those labor-saving appliances, they didn't give us more free time. They just created higher standards for what a clean house is. And social media, it just shows you an infinite list of parties you're not at and things you're missing out on. It's a hamster wheel, and the faster we run, the more tired we get.
Okay, so if trying to be more efficient is actually making things worse, what are we supposed to do? Well, this is where the advice gets really interesting and kind of radical. The solution isn't to find a better system or a new app. It's to do the exact opposite, to embrace your finitude, to just accept the simple, unavoidable fact that your time is not and never will be unlimited. And it all begins with accepting a really tough, but honestly, liberating truth. You have to get comfortable with the fact that you will miss out on almost everything. The vast, overwhelming majority of books, travel destinations, career paths, relationships, and experiences, you simply won't have time for them. But, and this is the beautiful part, that's what makes your choices matter. When you finally accept that you can't do everything, the things you choose to do suddenly have real weight. Choosing one path means you're actively not choosing 100 others. That sacrifice, that choice, is what gives your life meaning.
All right, I know what you're thinking. That's a nice big idea, but how do we actually do that day to day? Well, Burkeman gives us some brilliant practical strategies. Let's look at two tools for us mere mortals.
First up is a fantastic little exercise from, of all people, Warren Buffett. Here's how it goes. Write down your top 25 goals in life. Then, circle the 5 that are the most important to you. But here's the real genius move, the part everyone misses. You don't just put the other 20 on the back burner. No, you create an avoid at all costs list. These 20 are your most dangerous distractions precisely because they're interesting enough to pull you away from what truly matters. The second tool is something he calls radical incrementalism. This is all about resisting that temptation to be a hero, that urge to pull an all-nighter or try to finish a huge project in one massive burst. Instead, you learn to get comfortable with the slight discomfort of just showing up, making small, steady, consistent progress. A little bit, day after day. It's not dramatic, but it's how real, important work actually gets done.
All right, for our last big idea, we're going to zoom way, way out. We're talking about embracing your cosmic insignificance. And trust me, it's way more comforting than it sounds.
Now, check this out. This totally blew my mind.
We think of ancient Egypt and the pharaohs as being in the impossibly distant past, right? But you'd only need a chain of 35 people living to be 100 years old, one after another, to connect us all the way back to their time. All of what we call human history is just a blink of an eye.
And the whole point of this isn't to make you feel small and sad. It's the opposite. Burkeman calls it cosmic insignificance therapy. When you realize what a tiny flicker your life is in the grand scheme of things, all those little daily anxieties, the pressure to make your mark, they just kind of melt away. The universe doesn't care, and that is an incredible relief.
So if the point of life isn't just to check off a to-do list, what's our new compass? Well, the psychotherapist James Hollis gives us this incredible question to carry around. With any choice you make, ask yourself, does this diminish me or does it enlarge me? The goal shifts from efficiency to growth. And suddenly you start choosing the things that challenge you and make you bigger, not just the things that are easy.
And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? Back to that first big, scary number. It leaves us with one final question to ask ourselves, not just at the new year, but every single morning. Knowing that your time is so ridiculously short, knowing this is all you have, what truly matters today?